So, in a world that's chasing fast success, what does it take to build wealth that feels clean, conscious, and truly abundant? So, our guest today is Gal Ezra. He lives and breathes that question. He's an entrepreneur, an international income coach, husband, father, investor, and the CEO of Guaranteed Prosperity, a company on a mission to create 10,000 ethical millionaires around the world. But what does that mean? So by the age of 25, Gal had already built multiple million-dollar businesses, from launching festivals with over 40,000 people in South Africa to building thriving companies in property and finance. So he is living proof that mindset is the true currency of success. His definition of wealth goes far beyond money. It's about integrity, contribution, and creating a ripple effect of prosperity that uplifts others. So today we're essentially unpacking the mindset of an ethical millionaire. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to Dr. Bradley Nelson and iHeartRadio and to our audience and our fans. Please do not forget to like and subscribe before you leave today. How's it going, Gal?
It's great. Thank you. That was an amazing introduction, and I'm honored to be on with you today.
Yeah, it's really good to be on with you too. How are you doing? What's
Thank
going
you.
on over there? Remind me where you are.
Good. Yeah, I'm in Cape Town, South Africa. So I'm in the
Okay.
south of the southern hemisphere, all the way at the
Mm.
bottom tip of Africa. And yeah, it's the most beautiful city in the world. My dad calls it heaven. I agree. It's really a special place. So yeah, I've had a great day. It's the end of my day. Well, the end of my work day, 5 p.m. That's kind of when I actually start. This is my halfway point of my day because I work all the time. But it's the end of a
Yeah.
normal work day. It's 5 p.m. here, and we're doing a lot of stuff. We're very busy. We're helping many, 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 many people. And I hope that today I give your listeners tons of value in a way that they didn't ever hear before.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited too. In this world of greed and ego and money, I like this conversation that we're about to have. So like I just said, a lot of people hear millionaire and instantly think greed or luck. And so you talk about
Mm,
ethical wealth. So what does that really
yeah.
mean, and how can ordinary people start thinking that way?
Yeah, so a couple of things. The when you started on your intro and you talked about succeeding in a clean way, you used the word clean. And I found that to be very interesting because it's not something that I typically would use as a main word when I say success or when I talk about success, although it's actually a very good word that I probably should take on more because it's a really good way to describe it. I really like it. And I'll tell you why I say that. Success is really defined by your relationships.
Yeah.
That's actually a major determining factor. And they've done, I think many people know, but maybe you haven't seen this. It was a very, very, very big TED talk that got really, really famous. And what they did is they talked about the largest study ever done that was spanned over one of the longest periods of time. I think without them knowing, two people in the study became presidents, and there were people from all walks of life, men and women, different parts of the world, like a really big study. And they were looking at what's the determining factor of success. Really, they're looking at success as in health, wealth, and longevity. And
Mm.
what they found is that the number one factor is relationships. If somebody has good relationships, they live longer, they succeed better, they make more money, and they're actually physically healthier, developing less diseases, less problems. So they do well based on their relationships. And relationships is not just romantic. When I say relationships, it can be relationships with friends, with investors, with anyone, any relationship with your dog, with your plants, with your body. You have a relationship with your body. It's really the same, all the same rules apply. So, why I say that clean is an important word is because a relationship is actually defined by, that's a very interesting straw.
Yeah,
Whoa.
it's frequency. We're talking about frequency right now, and it's actually frequency charge. So I love the angle that
Whoa.
you're taking this because it's
Yeah.
relating to me in so many ways.
Amazing. Yeah. So really the a relationship, okay? What is a relationship? If even for a moment your listeners can pause for a second, say, okay, how would you define the word relationship? What makes a relationship a relationship? Because you have many different types of connections with different things, different people, but what makes a relationship? And a relationship is actually determined by how clean the connection is,
Mm.
the cleanliness of the connection.
So
And
does
we can
that mean
talk a bit about that.
honest
But
and true and open? What does clean mean in a relationship?
yeah, so I'll explain that in just a sec. One concept that I want to tell you, and anybody can go look this up, there's something called gauge blocks. And what a gauge block is, it's something used in machinery where they use it for various purposes, but they take two metal blocks that are polished metal, super shiny, super smooth, like incredibly smooth. And they take the two blocks and they twist them together and they stick like rock solidly sticking together. Like they can put a lot of weight on the connection and there's no adhesives, there's no friction that somehow connects it. They don't lock together. What sticks them together is just this super clean polished metal against polished metal, and there's a reaction of some kind that happens where they stick. Now, the one thing that can hurt that is that what's the one thing that would hurt that connection? Basically, what happens is the reason that it doesn't stick, the only thing that can destroy the gauge block is dirt, any
Mm.
dust, anything that gets in there will make that connection break apart. In a relationship, where does that dirt come from? Yes, for sure, dishonesty, and there's many different things. But what it really is, and it's an uncomfortable thing to hear, but what it really is one's own sins.
Mm.
The sins that people commit are the dirt that happen within relationships.
So it's a reflection of how
And
we look after ourselves. And then if we're doing things that aren't ethical or clean, we'll stick with that word,
mhm,
then that's gonna like emit from our body.
yeah, it brings in dirt, and what's really interesting is that how people have many different definitions of sins, and sins have almost gotten sort of a name that maybe it's become so many different meanings for sin, but really you can define a sin as something that you do which you wouldn't want done to you,
Mm.
something that harms more parts of life than the good that it brings. So it's just a numbers game. Does it harm more or less? I'm not saying if you do any harm, it's bad, because it's not true. If I harm the grass in order to make the whole property look better, it's not a sin. If I kill some lettuce in order to make a salad, it's not a sin, but I've harmed the lettuce. So harm is not the problem. But if it does more harm than good, it's a sin. So if I sell drugs because for me it'll make me money, and that's good, I'll be happy with the money I made. But really, it destroys many families, and it, of course, will eventually destroy mine. Then it's not good. Don't do it. It'll
Yeah.
be a sin. Okay, so
Risk
that's really.
reward, right?
Say again.
I said risk reward,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah, yeah.
Long-term pain.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And what happens in relationships, what happens to everyone without exception, they commit sins. Everyone. Okay? It's like anybody that's listening going, Shh,
Yeah,
I've committed sins
in
though.
this world though, like I feel like right now everyone is so sensitive. So like
Hmm.
so sensitive. And sometimes I'll say something and it means no harm, but people take it personally. And I feel like that has a lot to do with what you're talking about of like the way people treat themselves. So I feel like they're really struggling if they're going to be offended by something that I say that has no negative intention. I feel like that's a personal issue on their end. So how do we balance that in our super sensitive world? Like super sensitive.
Yeah. So you'll find that if people are critical or are finding wrong in any way, it's not the person that they're blaming, it's them.
Yeah.
If I point my finger at you, there's three fingers still pointed at me.
Hmm.
Always. Always. The reason that people don't like you is because they did something against you. The reason that somebody doesn't like me is because they did something against me. The reason that I don't like somebody is because I did something against them. Anybody that's listening, just have a look at people that were once your best friends that today they don't like you for some reason. And what happened is you probably gave them and helped them and did and offered them and supported them and did a lot of stuff. And one day they didn't like you. Why? Because by mistake, they committed a sin against you by not repaying you how they should have, even if it was
Mm.
not help that needed to be repaid. It doesn't mean that if you, I don't know, let's say you helped a friend and you let them stay with you for 2 months. It doesn't mean that now they need to let you stay with them for 2 months because it might not be what you need, but they didn't repay it in some way. One day you asked, hey, can you drop me off at the airport? And they say, I'm busy. So when they had the opportunity to help you back, they didn't. And that happened
Right.
again and again and again. And they one day don't like you. Why don't they like you? Because they did something against you.
Ooh,
Always.
you know what this reminds me of? Like being in my 20s when I was like in toxic relationships around toxic people, and we would gossip about people, and then that person would walk in the room, and I would suddenly be like, "Oh my God, I can't look at you. I can't talk to you anymore because I feel like shit right now."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like I need to
Exactly.
stay away from you because I just talked about you, and I feel terrible about that.
Yeah. And so the reason that that happens, that terrible feeling happens, is actually because you're so good.
Mm.
And I'll explain what I mean. Even though you did something bad, I'll
I feel
explain
like
what
an
I mean.
angel. I've got halo all of a sudden.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, it's true, you are. But the idea is this, okay? Man is basically good. How do we
Yeah,
know? Because when we do something that's bad, we hide it. We feel bad about it. If we were basically bad, when we did something bad, we would go around and say, look how all the bad I did, because I'm bad. I'm basically bad. I want to do bad, so I'm proud of my bad. But
right.
because we're good, when we do bad, we say, oh, I shouldn't have. And when you go and you do good, you're happy about it. You're proud of it. So basically, man is good. Yes, we do bad things, 100%. We do bad things, but we're basically good. And what happens at that moment, so when you go, when somebody goes and does something bad, the first thing you do is justify it. That's
Yeah.
the first thing.
That's
Immediately.
the
I have a reason.
automatic, like, that's where the go-to is. It's like, oh, how do I justify this if I get caught? For sure. You're always looking for that excuse.
Exactly. It's automatic because you feel that it wasn't okay. So you have to make yourself comfortable in some way. So the burden is not so big on you. So you immediately justify it. So I stole some money from my business partner, but it's okay because he hasn't really been carrying his weight. Okay. I
Right.
feel
Or,
a little
yeah,
bit better. I feel a little bit
yeah,
better, right? So that's the first thing. The next thing that you do is you withhold it. You don't tell anyone. That's because you did something bad, so you're quiet about it. So you commit a sin. Next thing you do is you withhold it. So you justify, then withhold it. Once you're withholding it, you don't tell. Now there's something interesting that happens, and it's called a missed withhold. And what a missed withhold is I'm withholding the sin I did, and somebody almost found out that I did that. So they just missed the truth. They just missed it. So the business partner comes in and says, have you been keeping track of the books recently? He doesn't know I stole, but I go, oh my God, he knows I'm stealing. Oh my God, he knows I'm stealing. Oh my God, he
yeah,
knows I'm stealing.
yeah.
But then I said, no, I haven't. Oh, okay, fine, cool. And he goes, and that. that moment, or when the friend comes in and you go, that moment, that thing that happens to everyone, me, everyone, that thing is one of the most destructive killer things for yourself. It destroys the spirit. It kills the spirit. When that
Mm.
happens, it's a stab at the spirit. And what you do
That's
as a
the worst
result,
feeling in the world. Like I can, when you said that, I could like feel it. It's the worst
uh-huh,
feeling ever.
it's
Like the
it's the
worst.
worst. I know.
It's the
Yeah, it's the
worst.
worst. Yeah. By the way, there's a very specific, we do this with people, there's a very specific methodology that's designed to clean your hands again from sins, those things that you withhold, and those things that were missed withholds, all those feelings. There's a methodology to clean your hands again and to be able to be back because those things kill you. They literally kill you. And as time goes, you are in a situation that you don't know how to clean things up. You feel like you're in it too deep. There's a way to
Yeah.
handle it. There's a real
Mm.
way to resolve that so that you have life again. Because what happens after you have a sin, because you're good, you stop yourself from committing bad. You want to tie your hands. If you keep stealing, you will find a way to either literally or metaphorically break your arm so you stop stealing. You will stop yourself. You will do whatever you can. So how it plays out, you sometimes see somebody that was a member of the group that starts to separate themselves from the group. That one person that
Right.
goes and separates. That person has committed a lot of sins against the group. They're separating themselves in an effort to stop hurting the group. You'll find that somebody starts getting sick almost unexplainably. They just get sick and sick and sick. That person that's getting sick and sick and sick is a human being like me and you, and they committed sins, and now it's becoming such a burden that whether you believe it or not, they are making themselves sick in an effort to stop hurting. You'll find somebody who leaves a relationship unexplainably. They committed sins. So there's a way to clean
Could a
that up
sin be
and to,
considered like withholding truth? Like, because I know for me in situations where I was in like with somebody that I knew I wasn't meant to be with, even though I didn't per se do anything wrong or sin, I guess a sin would have been not being honest about my feelings in certain situations, right? Or like
yeah,
not being completely real to where I was at. So I
yeah.
feel like a sin doesn't like I'm thinking a sin could be positive or negative. Maybe it doesn't even need to be distinguished that way.
Yeah, look, you just have to ask, would you want somebody to do that to you?
Yeah,
That's the measure. That's the measurement. And by the way, everybody commits many, many, many sins, also unknowingly often. A lot of times the sins and I don't want people to be listening to this and just feeling like they're like, oh no, I'm beating them up by showing them how many sins they've committed because it's really not my point. My point is to educate you on how it works so that you can do something about it. But basically, you commit many different sins throughout the day. For example, a lot of sins are sins that you do. Like if I go and I steal an apple from the apple cart, I did something. But a lot of times, sins are the things that you didn't do that you should have done.
mm,
I should have
yeah,
told the truth. I should have. I should have. Or I should have completed my inbox. I didn't. I should have done the job by the deadline. I decided instead to, I don't know, party late, and now I'm hungover, and then I missed the deadline, and oh, how am I going to get out of this one? I didn't do something. So it's not that you did something, you didn't do what should have been done.
mm,
So there are many, many, and then people don't always see it. And because
yeah.
they don't see it, it affects them. And because it affects them, they don't understand why they're cutting their reach. So the last thing I'll say about it, so we don't harp the whole time about sins, is that when you commit a sin, what you do is you build a wall. The wall protects people from knowing about your sin.
Right.
Everyone, again, including me, I don't want you to feel like I'm pointing fingers. You build a wall against the sin. Now that you have a wall, you're protected. Nobody sees in. But the problem is that you can't see out
Right.
because you have walls around you, many, many, many walls. So you can't see out. Because you can't see out, you miss obvious opportunities, obvious income lanes that you could take, obvious ways to sell, obvious ways to help, obvious ways to build a relationship. You don't see. You literally have walls in front of you, blinders. And again, this specific process that we do eliminates those walls, gets you feeling a bazillion percent again because you actually handle those sins in a very specific way. And income is actually the result. It's really an amazing process.
Yeah. Wow. Well, back to like the whole start of this conversation is relationships are what builds us. And you're
Hmm.
right. Like the people who are honest and, have no or low ego and are super giving and also assertive and have boundaries. Those are the people that I see that are the most successful in the world.
Hmm.
There's all this craze about, having to be super independent or entrepreneurship is crazy. It's rampant. Like everyone's starting their own side hustle. And yeah, the number one thing that I see in successful entrepreneurs is they have a strong team behind them. Would you agree with
Hmm.
that? And walk us through I mean, you built your first $1 million business at 25. So what was that process like? Like, did you have moments where you're like, what am I even doing? How am I going to do this? Talk to us a
Yeah.
little bit about your path.
Yeah, so it happened really naturally on the one hand, but on the other hand, it was always what I was going to do one way or the other. And where it started was I began with doing events, okay, music festivals. Like my festivals are household names in South Africa, okay? Everybody knows
Mm.
them. Like everybody knows Coachella. It's like that, but in South Africa, okay? And basically, what happened was it started very small. I got to South Africa knowing no one. I was 19 years old, without the
Why
whole
South
long story,
Africa?
but
Just as a side question, quick.
yeah. So yeah, in a nutshell, what happened was I was born in South Africa. My parents moved here when a year or two before I was born, and or maybe a bit more than that. And anyway, I was born here, and we lived here until I was 7. So I had a South African passport because I was born here, and my parents were living here, and so forth. South African passport, great. Age 7, we moved to the U.S. I grew up in the US until 19. My whole life is in the US. Everything, all my friends, brother and sister, everyone, everything, my whole future is in the US. But I didn't have an American visa. I was always under my parents' visa because up
Okay.
until 19, you're considered under your parents. At 19, we all go to renew the visa, and my parents got it, and they said, me, you don't denied.
What?
Yeah, like what? Because now you're no longer under their umbrella. So you're independent.
Okay.
So it was like, whoa, okay. So my dad said, you know what? You have a South African passport. Go to South Africa and just apply from there. And then you'll get it. Just use your South African passport. So I flew to South Africa solo. My parents and everyone goes back to the US. And I'm in South Africa. I go to apply, denied.
Oh my gosh.
Now I'm stuck in South Africa. Okay, like 19 years old. I had you have plans. I knew where I was going to go to university. I knew which I was just planning on doing like a business college. I never ended up going to university, but I had this idea. I'm going to move to LA. I wanted to do acting. I'm going to work here. I have friends, everything. I had a whole thing lined up, gone in like a second. And now my grandparents are still in South Africa. I'm living in like my grandparents' little like spare bedroom, and I'm just solo. Basically, I knew no one. And I start to, all right, this is going to be maybe a week more, 2 weeks more. The lawyers are saying maybe a month or two more. Long story short, I only went back 3.5 years later. Okay. I
Wow.
was stuck here. In that 3.5 year period, I built these music festivals and things went big in that same time period. So what happened was I knew no one, but I knew one law. And the law was communication out will bring me communication in. If I want income, anything that I want to come in, I gotta go first put out. Okay,
Yeah,
that's my number one thing. I know that in my business, if we don't have enough leads right now, all right, it's not about the leads, it's about we're not communicating enough. We're
right.
not writing enough, calling enough. The word communicate, communicate out, communicate out. So I knew that at the time, and I said, okay, I just got to go out. I don't know where, but anywhere I go, I'm talking to people. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna
Mm,
meet people. I remember at the time, I it was like only Facebook really was like 2011 or so. Like Facebook was the thing, and I would write to random people. Random. I saw on Facebook, I would see like people that looked like cool people, and I just would write to them, cold messages as like, "Hey, I'm new in South Africa, and I'd love to like hang out." You know,
right.
this
Nice.
girl that ended up becoming a close friend of mine 4 years later randomly looked at her like messages with me for whatever reason, and she was like, "Gal, you have no idea. You wrote to me in 2011. I just never responded to you." Like it was
Weird.
crazy. Yeah, weird, right? So I just communicated out, and I started to meet people that I could meet, people that I could meet, people I could meet, and I started to say, okay, let me get people together. And from getting people together, it was the tiniest little get-togethers, like 20 people around my
Mhm.
grandma's pool. Okay, and it ended up becoming a house party. House party became okay, let's do something a little bit bigger. And then one day we said, you know what, maybe if we, it was me and three partners, if we all put our heads together and we really market for the winter, by the summer, we can get 300 people to show up. And that will be crazy. Okay, we're like 21, 22, 300 people. So we start this thing, we start a brand, We Love Summer. We start, that's the name of the brand. We start this thing there. And the day of the event, 900 people show up. The whole thing
Nice.
gets shut down by the police. We didn't have our event, like our licensing, our permits. We had no idea we needed that. We get shut down. We think, oh my God, everything's destroyed. It's over. There's no future for us. All this hard work all winter long. And on Facebook the next day, everyone's like, the police won't stop us. That was the best thing ever. Woo. And everybody was like so happy. And so we're saying, okay, we have something here. The next event was 1,600 people. The next one was 2,500 people, and this is like 3 weeks later, 1 month later, boom, growing, 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 and we're like, okay, we have like a thing on our hands, and then that's it. It just grew from there.
Wow. What was your
Yeah,
relationship with money like at that point? Because I know for one, like when I was younger, I was naive and I didn't respect it. So did your relationship with money change over time? And did you ever feel guilty about, like, I know a lot of people say that they feel guilty about being abundant or becoming rich and successful. It's like this mental block. Can you speak to
Mm.
that?
Yeah. I'm Jewish, so I love money. Just kidding. It's a Jew joke that I'm allowed to make because I'm Jewish. So yeah, no, I had you look, I was very fortunate. The one major advantage I had was amazing parenting. And really, I got mentorship from both my parents, but in the business front, really from my dad. Okay. He's an extremely incredible mentor, very successful businessman. So he was really successful. I grew up in an affluent family. And the whole thing is that people thought, oh, so you were like a trust fund baby. And the whole thing was no. When I was in South Africa, the first thing I did is I need money. So I called my dad, I need some money. And the first thing he said is, no, I'm not giving you any money. What I'll do is I'll teach you. You'll learn. And once you learn, you'll be able to go and make your own money. So
Yeah.
he never did that. He never gave me the money. I never had that situation where I became like a
If he would
spoiled
have given
brat.
you money, that would have changed everything, I
It
feel
would have
like.
destroyed everything,
It
destroyed
would have
the worst.
destroyed the exactly.
Yeah, look at the most kids of rich parents are useless, snobby, terrible.
And all
It's
of
really
their
non
things aren't looked after. And yeah,
correct. Yeah. So the best thing is I'll give you knowledge, right? And so that was my advantage. By the way, that's what today is my obligation. I feel obligated to pass on the knowledge that helped me to other people because that was the key. I learned. When you learn, you bring about you display responsibility. When you display responsibility, you control. If I teach you to drive, you're responsible for the car. You control the car. So if you want control, you're gotta learn. So he taught me. That was a good thing. So I had a good practices around money. There was never the situation of I learned early on that money is something that flows. Money likes to flow. Okay, it loves it. Money hates sitting still. So money likes to flow. And what people do when they say, "Oh, that's expensive," or "Oh, I could never," or any of these things around money, what you do, even in your mind, is you put blocks against it. Oh, blocks. And you're blocking money. Money really likes to flow, and money likes to flow to areas that are happy. You'll find happy
Yeah,
people have money. They have money. It's just something they have. They don't make money. Making money is something that the government does. They make the money. You have money. And people that are really successful are very happy, very energetic, very creative, and they have money. And then you say, no, but I've seen some really grumpy, mean, like terrible people that have money. They don't actually have money. Maybe their account says that they have some money, but they don't really have it. They will waste it. They don't consider that it's important. They will eventually lose it, and they would give it all up just to be happy. So they don't
right.
actually have money. Okay? People that really have money control it, enjoy it, use it for bettering. Money is just a tool to help more, to better more. That's what money's for. So I learned that very early on. So for me, it was like, no, money is the result of how much I help. If I bring a
Hmm.
lot of value, I'll get paid. If I don't help, then don't pay me. But if I help, you should pay me because if I help you and you don't pay me, it's what we talked about earlier on. I give you, I give you, I give you, and you don't have a way to repay. If I give you and you don't repay, what I'm basically saying is I'm the powerful one that gives. You're the weak one that can't repay. But when I say, no, 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 I'll give you and you'll give me, you have your strength, you can pay, I can help. And that's how it goes. That's how life goes. You have to have that exchange. So I've always
To
known if
add
I
value.
want to yeah, if I add value, money will be the result.
Hmm. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So I know for me, when I started like really learning about manifesting, I started even looking at the bills I was getting as a gift. So I get
Hmm.
my whatever credit card bill and I'd be like, thank you. And I'd say thank you to God and whoever I thank. And when I pay it, like think of that as like a for the greater good, like looking at bills that way. Because
Yeah.
anything to do with money leaving and you have a negative idea behind it, that's exactly what you said. There's a block there, and that's going to prevent
Hmm.
the money from flowing back because you're stopping the flow of it going out.
Yeah, 100%. So there needs to be the flow and people need to be productive. People are just not as productive as they should be. People waste a lot of time.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's
when
one
someone says
thing.
they don't have time to do like a really healthy habit, I just want to call out their bullshit. Like I just
Yeah.
bullshit, you don't have time. Like
Yeah.
everybody has time.
100%. Everybody has time for what they want to have time for because somebody says I don't have time, but then I check and they couldn't stop watching the third episode of their favorite show that night. They just watch
Yes.
one, two, three in a row, and there goes 2.5 hours, and but they didn't have time to whatever for whatever. So everybody has time for sure. There's no question about it. If tomorrow, I don't know, Angelina Jolie called you up and said, "Can you meet for lunch?" You would do whatever you can, and you would have time for her. So I
Mhm.
think that anybody has time, and most people waste time a lot. A lot of time is wasted, and you let it get stolen from you with different things. Your phone, your different things steal your time. So yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. So you're a dad, a husband, and an entrepreneur. How do you teach your kids or even yourself that money doesn't define your worth?
Because what defines your worth is, again, the only worth that a person has is how much they help. That's your only value. Do you help? And for a child, that help can be setting a good example. I have an 8 month old, okay, and I'm already teaching her, and my wife too. We always tell her, even though she's 8 months old, you're setting a good example for other babies. Other babies look at you and they watch you. Other parents look at you and they watch you because she's an amazing little girl. She's incredible, and she's just the happiest baby you've ever met. She's such a sweetheart, and anytime somebody walks by, she smiles at them. And it's just, she's such a sweetheart. So we always tell her, it's amazing that you do that because it sets a good example. People like that.
Mhm.
That's how people should be. It's a good example. You should smile at people. You should be friendly. You should be happy. So we always tell her, you set a good example. You're bringing value. When she, I don't know, if she kisses me or if gives me a smile, that's the biggest value she can give me at this age. So if you bring value, that's more important. Money is something that you need to have in this world. If you don't, you need to handle that because it is a big problem to not have enough money. You can't survive well, you can't help well, you can't support, I don't know, your church well or your family well enough if you don't have money. And it's very possible to have money, but it's not the most important thing. It's weird because money is in one way the most important thing because without it you can't eat. But on the other hand, it's the least important thing because money, like there's so much more important things, love, relationships, living life well, being healthy. So the money is least important, but actually you really, really, really need it too. So if there's a problem there with money, that's what I work with people on. I handle that. I'm an income coach. I get you should have income. Now, income is not just money, by the way. Income is anything good that you want coming in. Income can be appreciation from your staff. Income can be kisses from your daughter. Income can be good reviews in your business. Income can be the car working well. And income can, of course, be dollars. So if you don't have enough income, there's a way to handle it. And the first thing that you need to do is clean up the dirt that's between you and different things and the walls you've put up and it handles that. And by the way, I didn't at all have any agenda about talking about sins today, at all. Like I didn't even know what I would talk to you about today. Just the fact that you mentioned the word clean at the beginning sparked this off in me. So it's really that.
Yeah, well, I think it's powerful because I think people need to understand that relationships start with ourselves. The way we treat ourselves is the way that other people are going to treat us because of how we're looking after our bodies. Our vessels are essentially the most important thing. And
Yeah.
I remember like the toughest times of my life and times in my life where I didn't feel good or I wasn't well. And I remember thinking I would give everything that I have in this material world to feel good in this moment. And so
Hmm.
there's that balance between, money and health and what's really important. So
Hmm.
tell us about your mission. So you're on a mission to create 10,000 ethical millionaires. So what do you
Yeah.
do? Tell us a little bit about the work that you do.
Yeah. So we have three main pillars that we work with people on. Okay. On the one hand, we're extremely good at what we do. And so we're very expensive. I'll tell every listener up front, if you want to work with us, it's expensive. For example, that program of how to clean up your sins, that thing that we do, it's a $2,000 program, but it is the best thing you could ever do. It's the best thing you could ever do because it will make you endless amount of money and actually make you feel, not make you feel. It's not that you will feel something. You will be you again in the most incredible state without the dirt, without the walls. It's like you'll actually see again. It's really fascinating. So we are very expensive because we bring a lot of results. We do it in three areas. The first one is business. We have a whole business academy. The business academy is really teaching you how to build and scale a business. How do you organize? How do you sell? How do you market? How do you everything? How do you hire? How do you fire? How do you handle your finances? How do you put executives in place? How do you train people? Business, okay? Everything business related. The next pillar that we have is called the Family Academy. And the Family Academy is amazing. It's how to have great relationships between parents and children, but really it's applying to all relationships. That's been delivered to over 1 million people now. It's really powerful. And the third one is personal development, mindset, spirituality. And not spirituality in any sort of kumbaya sense, but how do you become you and effective? How do you bring you back? Because you are a spiritual being
I like
that
that
over,
definition of spirituality, like becoming yourself. Like that's a
yeah,
beautiful way of putting it because people always think of spirituality as like woo woo. Like it doesn't have to be. It is essentially becoming you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
When
love
somebody
that.
says to
Sorry, I just
me,
got really passionate about
I
that.
love that thing. Yeah, it's good. You're right because when somebody says, "Oh, it's my spirit," I actually know that they don't know what they're talking about, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah,
If I say my spirit, that's wrong. Belonging to who? You are the spirit.
yeah,
It's not my spirit. You can say my car or my bottle. So then it's not me, it's my bottle. But if I said my spirit, no, belonging to who? That is me. Okay,
yeah,
so you are a spirit, and so you are the spirit. You are a spiritual being, and so you're right. When I say becoming you, I mean welcome back because what's currently the scene for a lot of people is that they're very buried with a lot of things. And the good news is you never lose your abilities. It just gets buried. So the general thing for everybody to
yeah.
know is
Those
that you're
walls we were talking about.
like the walls. So you are perfect. The whole thing is you are perfect, but anything that's not perfect is not you. You as a spiritual being are perfect, and anything going on with you, anything that is less than perfect, anything, worries, doubts, fears, mental health problems, anything, lack of money, arguments, anger, anything that's not perfect is not you. It's something that you have, you're carrying with you like a backpack. You have different things that you have on you, but it's not you, it's your bottle. So that's the truth, and that's what we recover.
Yeah. So I have a couple more questions for you, and then
Yeah.
I'd love for you to tell everybody where they can find more information about you and what you do.
Hmm.
But what is one business habit that you swear by?
I'll tell you something interesting. I don't have habits.
Ooh, I like that because I don't either. And all my
Yeah.
coaches make me feel like I should. And I'm like, I just
No,
do what I feel in the moment. I live
you're
moment to
right.
moment.
That's correct.
I'm
That's
changing
100%
every
right.
second. Yes.
That's
Oh,
1,000.
I could
That's
get, if we
correct.
were in person, I'd give you a
Yeah,
high five right
100%.
now.
100% a high five. But that's the right viewpoint. Habit, what a habit does, and I know that everybody chases millionaire habits and they want to know habits. I Everything that we teach is opposite. You'll see, but it works. It's different to what
Yeah.
everybody says.
Habits limit us because then we're
They
like
limit you.
stuck
What?
in this. We have to do this, but
Yeah,
like be limitless. Oh, I
you
love it.
become yeah, you become a robot. Robots have habits. A robot every day it does something. It's habit. When I have a habit every day to do this, it's a habit. I have a habit. I can't control it because it's my habit. Every time I do this, whenever the sun comes out, I have a habit. Every morning I need to by habit go and I don't know, read 5 pages of a book or whatever habits people come up with. Now you're a robot. Now you are been programmed to have this thing that you do on automatic like any other robot. Don't have habits. Be you, see what's needed, and do what's needed. If today what's
Yeah.
needed is to read 5 pages in the morning, I will. And if tomorrow it's not, I won't. And if today I know that what will bring me good results is to do this, then I'll do this. And if tomorrow it doesn't, I won't. So there's no habits. There's knowledge. When you know what to do, you apply it. Like there, I don't have habits when I drive. I drive because and I change all the time what I need to do. So that's the truth. So I don't have any business habits I can tell you because I don't have habits. I can tell you for a few principles or whatever, but no habits. And that's an interesting take also for your listeners is stop. I know you've been chasing habits for a long time. Stop it.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there's this saying that humans thrive in routine, and I disagree with that. I am so
Hmm.
100% in agreement with you that ha like those routines limit us. And then
Yeah.
we're not looking outside that routine anymore because we're like, we already know what we're doing. So we just become this, like you said, this robot that wakes
Robot.
up every day
Yeah.
and follows this
Yeah.
schedule that is getting you where, really.
Exactly. By the way, if you have established some kind of a routine that every day you create on newly, every day you say, is this still the right routine that I'm planning for my day, my schedule ahead? Okay. If you have some kind of a routine that you found brings you closer to your results, okay, you know, but that doesn't mean that now you're a slave to your routine, that now it's become the habit. And without your routine, you are going into a depression and you have to have a routine in order to be sane. Then no, then you're a robot.
Yeah, 100%. One last question. What is one belief about money that you had to let go of?
Um, I don't know if I had anything specific that was I had to let go of, but what I can tell you that I took on or learned um, is the definition of money, actually.
Right,
And this will blow away a lot of, I would say, beliefs, okay? There's a difference between money and currency. Currency is the $100 bill in your wallet. It's coins. You know, currency has come in different forms. Cows, trading cows used to be the currency in a barter system. That's currency. What most people think of is currency, actually. So what's money? If money isn't the coins and the dollars, then what's money? Money is actually defined as an idea backed by confidence.
mm,
Money is an
I like that.
idea backed by confidence. When I come around with a new business idea that has confidence behind it, if I have confidence, it will attract money. It will attract, actually, that will bring money. If many more people are confident in that idea, money will come there. When you go and you pay, if I go and I take my card and I pay for something, it's a piece of plastic that is like just plastic, but it can buy a car. So
Yeah,
that has confidence in it. So money is an idea backed by confidence. So when your confidence is shaken, your money gets shaken automatically because you have
right.
to have ideas that are backed by confidence in order for there to be money.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
actually, I have one more fun one. What do you do to keep
Mhm.
your energy up? What does Gal like to do? Like, what is something that someone doesn't know about you?
So something that someone doesn't know about me. I mean, I love doing like what I do for fun. Maybe is a few different things. I love Krav Maga. It's a self-defense. I love it. It's very physical, very high impact. I love it. I love free diving here in South Africa. We have the most amazing oceans, even though they're freezing cold, like 50-degree water. But it's
Yeah. You
unbelievable.
wouldn't
There's like
survive
kelp.
in Canada then. It gets so cold here.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah. But when we go freediving here, it's like full wetsuits with the hood and the whole nine yards. Like it's like
Yeah.
um
Wow.
but there's beautiful kelp forests, and so my wife and I really enjoy freediving. You know, we'll take hikes and stuff like that. But honestly, predominantly, I'm working. Like for me, my time right now is work, um, some more work, a little bit of time with the family, as much as I can, of course, work, a tiny bit of time with friends when I can see friends. I really like want to maintain all my relationships. It's important to me, but it's all controlled. My main thing is working because when I'm working, I'm helping people,
Yeah.
and so and you know my wife backs that completely, and we spend really good time with one another. But I love working, and I find that the more productive I am, the more energy I have. And it's the
Yeah.
energy is something that comes from me. Energy is something, by the way, last thing on that is energy is something that the spirit produces.
Mhm.
It comes from the spirit. Your spirit is not energy. Your spirit is not energy, but your spirit is the producer of energy. And so
Yeah.
you're
When you're in
when
flow, your like energy is limitless. People
yeah.
think they need an espresso. No, they just need to change up what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah. You when you're there, you bring energy, and you'll find again somebody can be very non-energetic, blah blah blah, but then all of a sudden they hear that their favorite musician is gonna be coming into the office today. I don't know, whatever, right? That you hear some, oh my God, you get all the energy in the world. From
Yeah.
where? Did you have a chocolate bar? Did you drink an espresso? No. You brought the energy again. So if you can do that once, you can do that more than once. You can do that always. You bring energy. You produce energy. So the production brings about you producing, you putting out energy, funny enough, creates more. It's like when you go to the
Yes.
gym and you go to the gym and you go to the gym, you find somehow you spend a lot of energy at the gym, but somehow you have more energy throughout the day. How?
Yeah.
Because you are producing. So, yeah.
When I do multiple shows, in a day. I put on a really good song before each one, and I just like
Uh-huh.
literally dance around like I'm in a rock band, and I just go mental in my space. And then I just
That's
feel
awesome.
so like every cell of my body is vibrating. It's beautiful.
I love that. Yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool. Amazing.
Yes. So tell
Yeah,
us where we can find more information about you, your website, and we'll make sure that those are also linked in the show notes. But for anyone listening,
sure.
where can they find you?
Yeah. So the first thing I'll say is what I'll do as a real special for your listeners is I told you about that program about cleaning up the sins and
Sins.
removing
Yes.
those walls. And how do you do that? There's a lot to learn. It's there, you have to learn it, and then you have to do some process afterwards, a practical thing that you need to do. And I was mentioning that it's an expensive thing. It really is. It's like a $2,000 program. But what I'll do is like something really crazy. If anybody's interested, if you DM me or write to my company and just say that you heard it from this podcast. I haven't offered this on any other podcast, by the way. We'll give it to you for $49. I'll give you a crazy discount.
Whoa.
Yeah, crazy. Okay. You just have to say that you came from it. I'll tell the team that if somebody happens to mention it, then, but only do it if you're willing to commit to it. You need to do it, but it'll change
Yeah,
your
there's
life.
work involved. Anybody who thinks that
Yeah,
they can pay you $49 and their sins are going to be removed by doing nothing, they need a
yeah.
reality check.
Yeah, first you learn, like I told you, there's knowledge, knowledge brings responsibility, responsibility brings control. So the first portion is learning. And you sit, you learn, it takes a few hours. We give you some things that you need to learn. You'll see you'll be mind blown. Like, wow, I never thought of it that way. Wow, I can see that. Oh, interesting. And then you learn how to do this process on your own, and you'll learn to do the process. When you're ready to do the process, one of the coaches here will help you with it so that they'll be in the background, but you'll go and do it solo, and you'll see your life will be totally different from that moment forward. So that's a gift. Again, really, I've never offered that anywhere. And so if anybody wants to, just write to us and we'll get that for you at that crazy discount. How can you contact us? Email, if you want to do this, info@gprosperity.com. G stands for guaranteed. So gprosperity.com. Everything we do is guaranteed. Everything. What we do is wild. Like if you do a program that costs you $5,000. If it didn't bring results, not only do I refund you with 10% extra.
Wow.
I'll pay you back
Nice.
$5,500 for wasting your time. Everything we do has that type of guarantee. So gprosperity.com, info@gprosperity.com, or the website is gprosperity.com. If you want to find me, it's Gal A. Ezra, GALEZRA on all social media platforms. Our social media platform is G Prosperity Now, all platforms. We post every day free content with interesting concepts, mind-bending stuff every day, lots of value. So check it out. I think you'll get a lot of wows out of it. And even if you just saw this and want to say hi, DM me. I'd love to hear that you saw this.
Amazing. Thanks so much for being here today, and for talking to us about all of these amazing things. Do you have any last minute
Mhm.
thoughts on the topic today?
My last thoughts that I would say is that what we are doing is different as you probably feel. It's someone the other day described it as like they heard what we said and they had to take the medicine and let the medicine do its work. They were like, it's like medicine. I
Yes.
heard what you said and I needed to like let it expand my mind. So I know it's different. I know it's opposite. But if you statistically do the opposite of what everybody does, you'll succeed because
Mm,
most people aren't achieving what they want. So if most people are doing the thing that most people are doing and it's not working, just do the opposite and you have better chances. So my message for you today is look at everything and just be willing to try the opposite.
yeah.
See how it goes. Anything, just anything. Do the opposite of what you would instinctively do, and that alone will create really magical, unexpected results for you.
Well, thanks again for being here. It was amazing getting to meet you and to talk to you.
Likewise.
And I hope to see you again.
With pleasure. I'd love to anytime. Thank you.
Thank you. And to our audience, thank you for tuning in today. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to take advantage of all those amazing offers we will have all of his links in the show notes. And we challenge you to be different. Be you. Stop following status quo. Stop doing the things that everyone else is doing. When you step out of your comfort zone, that's when you see the most changes and success. For now, take care, everyone. Bye.